Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 2000s Coyote Ugly.
And today we disappoint all of our women friends.
And everyone who requested this movie, apologies. I will say this before we even get into the cast and all that stuff.
Yes.
This movie is just an updated, little bit better version of Flashdance.
Oh, very much, yes.
So that's my one really good thing to say about it as we move forward in this. But if you want to reach out to Corey or me on Twitter, you can reach out to me at Junior D's. You can reach out to Corey at Idle Poncho. And let's get this off and running and get into the cast and crew of Coyote Ugly. This film stars Piper Perabo as Violet Sanford, Adam Garcia as Kevin O'Donnell, John Goodman as Bill Sanford, Maria Bello as Lil, an appearance or two by Tyra Banks as Zoe, Bridget Moynahan as Rachel, and random appearances by Caitlin Olsen as Bidding Customer, Johnny Knoxville as College Guy, Chris Wilde as College Guy, Michael Bay as Photographer, and Greg Pitts, yes, the O-face guy from Office Space,
Yep,
as Fiji Mermaid Waiter.
Things go well, I might be showing her my O-face. Oh. You know what I'm talking about. Oh.
Yeah, this was a murderer's row of up-and-coming stars.
Yes.
Yeah, man. There's a lot to this. It's based on a true story, so we can't completely shit all over this. Like, a woman, Lillian, forget her last name. I'm sorry if you're watching this, but Lil, Maria Bello's character, is actually based on a real person who did found Coyote Ugly. And I remember for a brief moment, this was a big thing. It was never my thing, but I remember it being a very brief thing.
Yes.
And for a minute, like, people were super into it. I remember it being very big at Vegas. I honestly couldn't even tell you if one of these places are open anymore.
I couldn't tell you. I actually, I was in Tampa, I don't know, 15 years ago. And somebody mentioned that there was a Coyote Ugly, so we went. Now, I'm not going to dump on it because it was like a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night. Like, it wasn't a Saturday. But there was 10 people in the place. And maybe they just didn't want to perform for the 10 people, but it didn't look like the movie at all.
Yeah, no, it seldom does. Matter of fact, if you've ever been to Cheers in Boston, that's a real fucking disappointment too.
I guess I should have known.
Let's talk about Coyote Ugly. So, this movie opens with Violet. She's leaving her hometown. She's leaving her father, her best friend, Gloria, to pursue her dreams of becoming a songwriter in New York City. And before leaving town, she signs an autograph, which is pinned on the wall of the pizza joint that she works at.
Everybody in this movie, much like the Flashdance, everybody's surrounded. They're such dicks. They're horrible.
They're horrible.
Like, oh, sign the autograph. And you think it's like a happy thing, her signing the autograph. Where it's like, I got the first one. And like, oh, fucking Sal, because every pizza owner's named Sal. I know that's not his name, but every pizza owner's really named Sal, especially in Jersey. So fuck off. So the pizza owner's like, hey, we got the first one. And everybody goes, ah. And then he just drops the fucking hammer on her. By the way, see all those first timers? Wish more of them made it. Tack.
Well, and then the one dude, because you know his name's Vinny, he's sitting there and he's like, I won't even sit next to that wall because it's just the whole wall's bad luck. Good luck, girl.
Her best friend, super supportive. And by the way, kind of was into her best friend a lot. But then she goes home to John Goodman, and John Goodman's like, yeah, you're a fucking failure. Don't do that. You're going to be selling your ass on the street soon.
The best part about this is she then goes to New York, right? So her best friend drives her to New York. They get to her apartment, and this kind of looked like my first apartment when I moved to Columbus. It was just a shithole. It was like, yeah, this place is getting broken into at least 6 times.
This scene reminded me of Big.
Yes.
Didn't it, with Tom Hanks, like when his buddy brings him into the city for the first time as an adult, and he just has to sit there and he cries in his hotel room? Yeah, that is literally what this scene felt like.
And the best part was they open the door and they're like, wah, wah, and she's like, oh, here's, emergency money. We'll put it in your freezer.
Money's made out of paper.
Yes.
Ice, which is found in a freezer, is made of water.
Yes.
Water and paper technically don't mix very well.
Yes.
It tears away the consistency of the paper and it just kind of folds into shit, right? Why the fuck are you putting a roll in the freezer? I understand you want to hide it.
Hey, listen.
Find a better place.
Can I tell you why, Bill Nye?
Please.
Because she explains this in the next scene when she walks her out to the car. And apparently Violet and John Goodman in this movie are the only two that have zero New Jersey accent. Everybody else has got the fucking thick New Jersey accent.
You're cabbage.
Her best friend basically here tells her, like, I'm crying because I'm so proud of you because we were just losers when we were kids and we've always been losers and we've never done anything we've said we were going to do. And this is the first time that anybody that I know in my entire life has done anything that they said they were going to do. I'm so proud. She just literally just had to move to New York.
Keep going. I was hooked. That monologue was tits. Keep doing it.
So that's why she doesn't know anything about money in a freezer. And I'll go a step further and go, I'm pretty sure the freezer doesn't work. In New York, Violet tries to get her demo tape noticed by anyone unsuccessfully, as you do. And listen, as a musician, I've been through this process, okay? They like show her going into like 3 different places and it's like, go fuck yourself. Go kick rocks, kid. This isn't how you do it. By the way, it's 2000. Why do you have a tape?
She is relying on the kindness of strangers for free pie. So
yes.
I don't think Sam Goody's cutting her demo anytime soon.
And
I will say this though. This scene felt so weird because my father, who I love very much and is 82 years old, he came up at a different time when you go out and look for a job. So when I was first sitting down to write a book, he told, you have that kind of weird feeling like, I don't really want to share this with send it to a real publisher or anything like that. And he goes, you put on a nice suit and you walk in there and you say, hello, my name is Corey Idle, and shake their hand. And this is my book. And here you go. And that's how things get done. That's literally what I thought that's what this reminded me of. Which, by the way, is not how things happen.
It's not. In one bar, a waiter, the O-face guy, Greg Pitts here, jokingly points out Kevin O'Donnell and says that he's the manager that books all the talent. Violet then tries to get him to listen to her demo tape, but she then realizes that he isn't who she thought he was, and she leaves while Kevin follows behind and apologizes and stalks her.
He's from New Jersey, right?
Yes.
She's not from fucking South Dakota or Nebraska or fucking Oklahoma or Kansas or any of these other states that anybody on the East or West Coast constantly makes fun of for being doe-eyed and stupid. Yes. She's from fucking New Jersey.
Hey, you talking about Jersey? Me and my friends are from Jersey.
Get the fuck out of here. You're this stupid.
She would, first of all, she'd be wearing leopard print everything, and she would have punched this dude right in the face. And we're gonna throw in a PSA here. I know this is normally you, but now I'm jumping into the mix, and I have the last few shows because this is how upset I am. Hi, ladies. When somebody says,
the manager of this club,
the way that he says it, he's obviously lying. she kind of goes, I think maybe he's lying. And she doesn't really catch on until the chef guy comes out and is like, hey, kid, take your fucking apron and go wash your ass or I'll fire you. And they go through that whole back and forth. And then she's like, hey, are you lying to me about being the manager that books the bands here? Come on. And this goes back to your point. If she's true Jersey, which she's obviously not because she doesn't have the accent, she would have punched this dude in the face or stabbed him and then just left him bleeding in the alley and gone home.
Exactly. I've met a lot of different people during my tenure in New Jersey, which was like a fucking prison sentence. And I met a lot of people that were not book smart. I didn't meet anybody that was fucking stupid or that wasn't street smart.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, that never would have happened to a fucking girl from Jersey. Sorry, especially a girl from Jersey whose dad is working a fucking toll booth. Are you shitting me?
So she tries to get her tape into anyone else's hands at these labels, and she gets told to kick rocks. She then tries an open mic night, and two assholes heckle her here, and she freezes up and she leaves. And we find out that she can't perform live because she's afraid to sing in front of people. So that's why she just wants to be a songwriter, not a singer-songwriter. And listen, again, going back to the whole music thing, I've done open mic nights. I've done, hey, you can get your band in this slot for this night and blah, blah, blah. People are there typically, apparently, unless you're in a horrible area of New York, they're typically there to see new, fresh acts, new music. If you're talking stand-up, they just want to laugh and whatever. So they have open mic nights for stand-ups and whatever. I have never been to a place and played at a place where there's just people there like waiting for you to just do one thing and they go, fuck you, jerk.
I'm a little nervous.
So are we, honey.
She walked up to the mic and they're like, hey, pussy pants, go fuck yourself. It's like, what the fuck is your problem?
Dude,
First off, two guys are not heckling Piper Perabo in any way, shape, or form when she walks up on stage.
Very true.
They're sitting there going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yep.
Because she is fine as shit, objectively beautiful. Can't argue.
Yeah.
So that heckling, it's not happening.
Yeah.
But to your point, I've been to a lot of comedy clubs in my time where they've had open mic nights. I've been in fucking coffee houses where they've had weird, like, beat poetry open mic nights. I've seen a lot of weird open mic night shit. Yeah. And again, to your point, I have never seen anybody there who is straight ready to heckle. I've seen the heckling happen.
It does happen.
Later, it's go on and people are getting more and more fucked up, but not right at the onset of somebody's set.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If she opened her mouth, started playing, and then she sucked, okay, the heckling makes sense because I've been in those situations.
Yes.
But it started before, like, as she was walking to the mic.
Oh, whoops.
I don't care what performer you are. If you walk up there and like, okay, my guitar, and they're like, hey, fuck you! I'm walking off the fucking stage too.
So after this, her apartment then gets broken into. And so now her whole life is like ruined now. And she doesn't have a job. I think she thought like, I'm going to get signed and get like this record deal. And I'm going to be a songwriter for, for Leanne Rimes or whoever right off the bat. And that's not how the music business works. She goes into an all-night diner because she has no money. And that's where you go when you have no money, to an all-night diner, because smiles get you pie.
In the Midwest, we called them Waffle House.
Yes. And in a Waffle House, an all-night diner at 3 a.m, a smile will get you a punch in the face. That's what that'll get you.
Oh, yeah. They ain't having that shit.
No, you're not getting anything.
What can I get for $3? Kick the fuck out of my restaurant. That's what you can get for $3.
She notices some girls flashing money around like they're in a goddamn P. Diddy video. And she finds out that they work at this cool bar, Coyote Ugly. This is where I wanted to stop because I have a couple of problems. These girls, okay, are amped as fuck, okay? They just got off from their shift at the Coyote Ugly, right? Whether they made $1 million that night or not, irrelevant, okay? If they just got off of their shift, it's 2, 3 in the morning, 4, whatever time it is, they're pissed. They're tired. They're pissed off at the dirty, horny clientele, just walking boners that walk around that fucking place. And they're sitting around drinking maybe coffee, maybe having something to eat, and they're bitching about the clientele. They might be at this all-night diner, but they're there to wind down. She then finds this bar, right? And convinces the owner, Lil, to hire her. Lil says she hired her because she looks like a kindergarten teacher who these childish boner people will come to see.
Yeah. Lil's explanation of the kindergarten teacher and blah, 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 because men have a toddler in their pants.
The average male is walking around with a toddler inside of his pants. A 2-year-old right there inside his Dockers.
There's a couple references down the line about the kids oozing stuff and the kids leaking stuff and the kids being wet, where I'm like, yo, are we still on the dick metaphor here? Because that's nasty.
Yeah, that it wasn't pleasant. I thought it was funny, but it wasn't pleasant.
If you're calling them men, or you're calling the men children because of the dick in their pants when they see girls up on a bar dancing, cool, I'm with that. Then your metaphor still tracks and it's not quite as gross. But your initial metaphor is about them having kids in their pants.
That's how I took it as their children. That's how I took that. They're just walking boners. So
yeah.
But
sloppy metaphor or just
whatever.
Really gross.
Either way, Lil tells her, show up Friday and we'll get you an audition, right? Mm-hmm. So it's obviously not Friday because she would have said, come by tonight. She says, show up on Friday, and Violet shows up on Friday and is surprised when she sees what the job actually entails. Didn't you go to the bar that night to see what the job entails? Listen, again, this is a Jersey girl, okay? She ain't stupid. She's going to go to the bar like, why are these chicks making $500 a night in just bartending? Normal bartenders don't make $500, $600, $700 a night in just tips. That shit don't happen. No. She would be smart enough to go check it out. Like when she got the gig, hey, maybe I'll go check it out tonight. Let's see what this whole job entails. So that when you show up on Friday, you're not like, oh, I'm basically just bump and grind and start throwing drinks all over people. She quickly realizes that she has to learn the ropes of dancing and performing and spilling drinks and liquor all over the bar patrons, spraying them with water and cutting off their hair because stuffing things. Wouldn't you have seen that the night before? And
I would have tried really fucking hard to understand what I was walking into.
This just shows me that she's not prepared for it. She's not prepared to be a songwriter and she doesn't know the process yet, which it's not like being a mechanic. Nobody teaches you how to be a songwriter and get your stuff listened to by agents and record labels. But at the same time, she's going to hand
notes like sheets of paper to Mariah Carey. And they're just going to be like, oh, great, a new song for me. Thank you.
Yes. But like, she just seems very ill-prepared for every situation that she's getting into.
Yeah. Lil here starts to demonstrate her, I don't know, love affair with power and firing people. Because, God, she fires Violet, 7, 8, 9 times throughout this movie?
She gets fired the first night and hired back for a second chance in the same night.
Because she broke up a fight and gave people money.
Yeah, she gave people $10 to not fight. Well, I won't fight if you give me $10 too.
I'll do some pretty nasty shit for $10.
We know you will, Corey. We know you
Motherfucker,
will.
I don't have hit me up. Old ladies, hit me up.
But then, so she gets hired back, and then we get the let's dress up the shy girl montage. There's your first montage for this movie.
First off, we'll make this a PSA. Hi kids, Uncle Corey here. If you think you're gonna be hip and cool and fit in better by ripping the sleeves off of your t-shirt and making a couple of snappy quick adjustments, it doesn't go smoothly like that. Ever. You're gonna have strings and shit. It's gonna be uneven. You're gonna look like a fucking asshole.
I do love in movies when they do that. It's like, oh, we're just rip. Everything's perfect. It's yeah. If you did that in real life, you would look like a freaking homeless person. Kevin then, through all of this, tries to help Violet overcome her shyness on stage. They become closer.
I don't understand his game. Who is he? What is he doing? Like, you don't want to talk about your past. Like, you completely dodge everything about your past because you're an orphan.
So what's the problem?
His character fell so flat in a world here created of flat characters and one-dimensional characters.
That's true.
He's
and
the guy.
And also, up until he meets her, he's like, what they show of him, it's like, oh, he's this like player, this playboy that's just all he's doing is making up stories. He's wearing leathers out in the thing when he's supposed to be working in the kitchen, and he's just like, hey, bada bing, I got a chain on, like I'm a manager, whatever. It seems like he's running this game. And then he meets her. She doesn't call him out. She finds out just by happenstance that he's not who he says he is. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, fuck all these games. I'm like in love. Like the character's just written very poorly.
Yeah, it's very sloppy. It is very, very sloppy. His motivation is completely geared towards one thing, literally until he meets this girl, and then everything. Like, we never see his friends again. Only time we see his job now. All of a sudden he's a good employee. All these music people he knows like really know him and respect. It's like, where the fuck did this come from? Yeah. And by the way, nobody's trading comic books to get you an open mic. That's the dumbest. We're running a business, asshole. Go trade that in for money, put it in a freezer for 3 weeks, and then bring it to me.
So one night at the bar, everybody goes, all the boner people go crazy, and Violet saves the day by singing karaoke, and she calms the masses with her siren song, and then she gets promoted to be a full-time coyote.
And I was confused by this as well, because there's a whole lot happening here.
Yes. You got the cops, you got...
Yeah, like, the cops come in and it looks like it's a shakedown, right? Like, you got 50 people too many in here. And she's like, oh, let's talk outside. But then when Violet breaks up the fight, they're upset. They're like, oh, damn, let's get out of here.
Yeah, it was...
Were you there to rouse the fucking bar? Like, what were you doing?
Yeah, it was
and
just...
And then the U.S. Navy decides they're going to rape Tammy for just, like, out of the fucking blue.
Yeah.
Which...
And why? And listen, you have let's just let's just state the obvious here, okay? Elephant in the room. You have what? First of all, you only have like 5 bartenders, right? And they're all gorgeous.
Yes.
Okay. And you only have 5 bartenders that have to work every night, basically. And you only have one bouncer, some fat bald guy at the door.
Yeah, it wasn't even Kubiak from Parker Lewis. They got fucking Scott Ian from Anthrax who like missed a couple doses of insulin. Get the fuck out of here with your swollen ass. Who are you breaking up a fight for? Like, you barely could throw out the Australian guy.
And it's just you. You got no help?
None.
Not an off-duty cop?
Hey,
not.
You got Bridget Moynahan because she's got anger issues.
Yeah. There you go.
Let me tell you something. As a guy who weighs about as much as fucking Bridget Moynahan did in this film, Okay? Regardless of your anger and how much rage you're going to put behind a punch, that shit's still only packing 110 pounds behind it. God damn it.
Yeah, I don't think you could fight your way out of a wet paper bag.
Fuck no, and neither can Bridget. So let's cut the shit.
I'd like to see a fight between you and Bridget.
Oh, she'd tear me up.
We then get another montage of Violet getting better at her job and Kevin and Violet getting closer. And then her dad comes to the bar. He decides to pay her a visit in New York. And he's so disappointed because his horny fucking friends at work hung up a black and white photo from the newspaper of his daughter. And he's now mad at her because his asshole horny friends at work are like, hey, look at your daughter. Yeah. Dude, yeah. Fuck you. Get out of here.
First off, nobody's disrespecting John Goodman in any room. Not because he's John Goodman.
He's a big
scary.
Dude. He's a big dude, and his face. Just go watch Cloverfield.
Go watch any movie. Go watch. See, there's fucking that episode of Roseanne where Jackie's boyfriend beats the shit out of her, and he leaves to go fuck him up. Yep. He's pissed, and he looks scary as shit. You don't fuck with John Goodman. No. Nobody is doing that to John Goodman.
No,
second,
not at all.
Why did they make him such a fucking asshole? Like you said, the guys at work hung pictures of your daughter up. And so you went down to yell at your daughter.
Yes.
And embarrass her at work. You already know where she works. You already know what she does. You weren't dropping in because she told you, I work at some bar down in the Bowery district, fucking blah, blah, blah. And he just popped in.
Yep.
He knew specifically what was going to happen. I was never so mad at him in my life in any movie until the next time we see him. And he goes,
no, what bothers me is for the first time in my life, I was ashamed of it.
What are you, fucking Amy Brenneman? What are you, fucking calling her a hooer?
He's slut shaming your daughter. Why? Because she danced on a bar? The fuck out of here. Then Kevin gets her the gig, with the comic book. He trades the Spider-Man for her fucking set time or whatever. She blows it off because she can't get the night off of work. And he then goes to the Coyote Ugly, starts a fight, which gets her fired. And then her dad gets into an accident, ends up in the hospital. And then all of a sudden he apologizes and everything is all good here. And her dad tells her to dance on bars and make it in the music biz.
Dude, and again, John, we're supposed to be like, yeah, way to go, Dad. That's not what happened. Listen to what he says. I lied to you about your mother.
Yes.
Your entire life. Because I also made her quit the fucking music industry. Yeah. And that didn't make me feel guilty enough, even though she's dead. So now I'm going to bury you in fucking shit. He's a horrible person who can't remember to put socks on when he's going to a wedding.
Because he doesn't know how to work the dryer.
A few moments later.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, my God.
3 hours later.
Oh.
1 eternity later.
And again, when they showed him with no socks on, I immediately lost it because I was like, that's when I was like, he's not only is he an asshole and a scary person, he's also a man baby who doesn't know how to do laundry. And why just the socks? If you didn't know how to do laundry, wouldn't it be the whole outfit? Would you just show up in your tidy whities to the wedding like that? Didn't know how to do clothes and stuff. She finally gets a gig at a local singer-songwriter showcase. She gets nervous on the way there and tries to back out and almost kills 200 people in the toll booth area as she swerves the car all over the place. She gets there freezes up on stage again until Kevin saves the day and turns off all the lights, and then she's able to crush it all of a sudden.
She never grew up.
She's been performing in front of gobs of people. I know she says it's, I'm basically just, it's like lip syncing. It's like karaoke. I'm just singing other people's songs and these are mine and it's personal. And I get that. I've written songs before. I've gone through this whole process. Yep. Not while working at the Coyote Ugly, but whatever. But, I've gone through this process. I know how much of a bitch it is to get up and sing in front of people and perform in front of people with personal stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But the performance is most, singers, songwriters, and that they hide behind a character.
Sure.
Like the only people who are who they are on stage are like fucking Prince. Prince was just Prince all the time.
Right.
But most people are hiding behind a character, and that's how you get through performances, because most musicians and performers have that anxiety about performing.
Oh, sure.
But you've literally been performing and dancing and doing your thing, which should help you to perform in public, even though it's your music now. But she still can't get over it until there's no lights, and now she's able to finally crush it.
Well, not ever, thank God, having to perform anything I've ever done in public. I looked at it from a movie standpoint, right? Like, this was the moment. She's got her dad in the car. She's got her friend in the car.
Yep.
They're heading to the gig. She's got renewed purpose. She has the news story about how her mom wasn't afraid. She's not like her. That's not a genetic thing that's following her around. Like, she is ready to do this.
Yep.
She flips the bitch. Cool. Comedic moment. Let's flip it back around. Cool. We're back there. Enough.
Yeah. Now just kill it and be done with it.
Exactly.
You have the crescendo. She does her thing. She kills it. And then we move. It was.
This is why 8 Mile worked.
Yes.
In this same situation.
Yeah.
Because in 8 Mile, he didn't freeze 7 more times during the main thing. He just fucking did it.
Yep.
Because he didn't give a fuck anymore. And that was supposed to be that moment for her.
Yes. Totally agree.
And it turns out she needs her dad on board. She has to have her best friend on board. She has to have Kevin there to help her. She has to have the lights still go down.
Yep.
I mean, there are so many problems here with her development as a character. And it's like, yeah, great. She wins and Leanne Rimes does her song.
Well, I was going to say, and if this didn't infuriate me already, what then did infuriate me is that it says 3 months later, Violet lands a deal with the record label and her song is on Leanne Rimes' CD in 3 months? That never happens. Okay. And if this is
because you're not Leanne Rimes. You're not Leanne goddamn Rimes.
Listen, I love Leanne Rimes as much as the next person, but she's not releasing a new CD in 3 months. Leanne Rimes shows up to the Coyote Ugly and Violet, she performs her song that Violet wrote. Violet buys Kevin's comic book back for him. John Goodman does his John Goodman shit, dances on the bar, and everyone at the end of this movie gets exactly every single thing they've ever wanted in life.
So much so that within a 2-minute span of 4 scenes, Kevin asks Violet,
"What do you do when you realize that all your dreams have come true?"
And then literally, almost without her answering the fucking question, turns it around and asks him.
So tell me, what do you do when you realize all your dreams have come true?
What do I got a fucking comic book and a girl.
Okay, can we stop here? Can we talk? You're a comic book guy. I do know that, or at least you used to be. I have never been into comic books. However, I have, everybody's got their own like little collectibles and shit, right?
Sure.
Can we talk about the handling of the comic book throughout this movie? just because it has a thin plastic sheath over it doesn't make it impervious from everything. It's in a brown paper bag at first, and he gets it at like some dirty, greasy diner place. And then he just willy-nilly has it in his jacket and hands it to the dude at the bar. And then she pulls it, I don't know, out of her pants or out of her purse or whatever, and then hands it to him like, and this thing is pristine throughout the whole movie, not a wrinkle to it.
None.
If this is, and I forget what issue of Spider-Man it was that they keep referencing, but if this is that comic book, that is in a concrete case.
Oh,
this
yeah, those
entire movie.
This is the first appearance of the Punisher. This is the holy grail of comic books.
Like I said at the beginning, this is a much better version of Flashdance. And that being said, it ran into a lot of the same problems that Flashdance ran into. The one thing I will give it credit for, she was like, oh, I want to be a singer-songwriter or a songwriter. And she went to New York City. She didn't go, I want to be a songwriter. I'm going to go to freaking Indianapolis. Like, she went to the big city because that's where there's some record companies. Yeah. But so those things I really enjoyed about this movie. But there was a lot of this movie that just infuriated me. And I think it's just from being a musician. Like, a lot of that stuff infuriated me. And how they wrote a couple of these characters. Like, especially with, and not to revisit John Goodman, but if you're going to make him an asshole, make him an asshole. If you're going to make him an asshole that with some redeemable qualities, that's cool too. But you made him an asshole with maybe a redeemable quality. He comes around in the end, but he's also adult. Like, he's just this moron. Like, I didn't like that.
Quality is he's John Goodman. We know him from other roles.
Yes.
So we like him automatically.
Yeah.
That's his redeemable quality at the end.
Yeah.
He doesn't really do anything for him. What, he supports his daughter? To quote Chris Rock, you're supposed to, you dumb motherfucker.
You're supposed to, you dumb motherfucker.
And this movie is a fucking mess. I don't know if there's a director's cut. I don't know. We always go to the editing room floor with these things. I'm not going to hang it on actors or blah, blah, blah. I don't know enough about this movie and what went into it.
Yeah.
To say one way or another that anybody fucked up royally. I'm just saying that somewhere along the line, this movie got fucked.
Royally.
Just royally. And I'm going to choose to believe it's in the editing process. There was somewhere on the cutting room floor a great version of this, which gives us some depth into fucking one character.
Yeah. And
we can at least identify ourselves with one of the coyotes or one of the 2 or 3 males in this movie.
Yeah.
Because everybody's story's a story. You know, you got a fucking anger management person. I don't give a fuck who that is. That's a story for a man or a woman. So you can identify with people, but not in this because nobody has any depth.
That's the problem.
Their own background is used as a punchline or a thinly veiled plot foreshadowing.
I've warned you about your attitude.
So if you guys like it, that's awesome. Was not for me. It was not for me.
It had nothing to do with anything other than the plot for me. It's just the plot was so all over the place. It just there's certain crescendos you're supposed to hit in a movie, and it didn't fucking work.
Your cabbage.
I'm glad I saw it. However, I would never watch it again.
No, me neither. Me neither. Well, keep sending in the requests. We'll keep doing said requests. But if that's all you got, that's all I got. For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 2000's Coyote Ugly.